You're on India Today podcasts and you are in the Sledging Room. Hey, sound is rolling, we are rolling, India's rolling. India's on a roll, in fact. They've won all their 4 matches in the 2023 World Cup, as have New Zealand. The table toppers then, New Zealand, who have been finalists in the last 2 ODI World Cups, 2015 and 2019, looking primed to make it to the semi-finals, are the Black Caps, and of course India. World champions in 1983, semi-finalists in 87, semi-finalists in 96, finalists then in 2003, World Cup champions again in 2011, and semi-finalists for 2 consecutive World Cups before this, 2015 and 2019. These 2 teams looking red hot and dangerous. Well, that's that about India. New Zealand. Will come to some of the other participating teams. Remember, there are 8 other teams. We haven't spoken as much about them because some of the performances have been lousy, disappointing and shocking, really. The biggest shock among them so far have been England, who of course can salvage their tournament and still make a strong case to make it to the last 4. As can Australia, by the way, as we speak, as we record this podcast, Australia have been put into bat on a flat deck in Bangalore. And Pakistan have already done Pakistan things. The review, the first ball review from Babar Azam, an absolute shocker. Just for context, if you missed that precious gem, Shaheen Afridi bowled a wide down the leg side. Mitchell Marsh's bat was nowhere near the ball. He obviously grazed the ground, and there was a loud appeal for a catch by the wicketkeeper. Was there? There was no edge. Clearly, there was no edge. Babar Azam,
like the Pakistan bowling is lacking edge in this World Cup, so you can't blame them.
Yeah, you got to do something. Hope for the best. Didn't happen. Babar Azam, by the way, was immediately trolled on social media. But we'll come to more of that later. First off, guys, India.
Yeah.
Talk about India now.
Looking at all this,
Why are you so...
looking at the way Australia, England and all of them have
Yeah.
progressed,
Yeah.
India look clear favourites, aren't they?
No, India anyway look clear favourites. It's just that the other teams have been so mediocre that India's genius is just sort of widened the gap, and you suddenly feel like it's what they're doing is so easy. It is not. I mean, look at World Cups. When you play at home, you're always under more pressure because of the fans and the expectations, especially in India. 2011, I remember what it was like. 2023, 12 years down the line.
Yeah.
The pressure is just as intense. The buzz is just as high.
Even Raj, even the mahal around the team, right?
What is it? What do you say?
Mahal.
Wow.
Mahal.
Akshay speaking some
It's
good
like
words.
an Americanized way of saying mahal. Am I not right? Is that mahal?
Yeah, I think it's Mahal.
Okay, the mood in the
Grown up in
dressing room.
Chennai, by the way, not in California or
Exactly.
Chicago.
Grown up in Chennai, not more reasons to not pronounce mahal properly, right? So yeah. So
I'm going to just shut up and let you take it away from here. Anyway, moving on.
Why I'm saying that is the on-field dominance is all fine.
Yeah.
But clear planning, which as in we were scrutinizing the way they were building up to the World Cup on the Sledging Room podcast. But something Dravid and Rohit knew that the outside noise didn't know, I think, right? And they have come with a clear plan and everything is falling into place now. You look at the Mahal. You look at the Mahal. Like Rohit Sharma, teasing Shardul Thakur for not going into bat against Bangladesh in that dressing room video.
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma is overspeeding everywhere, Raja. Rohit Sharma is getting it. 48 of 40 balls against Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Decimated Pakistan's bowling attack.
I thought he slowed down, in fact, against Bangladesh.
Yes,
he
he
got
did.
up for a
He
quick
did.
start, of course, but then he slowed down. I mean, he did a lot of speeding on the expressway to Mumbai.
But on the pitch, he has been speeding, there no one can give him challans.
Yeah.
But that
True.
has been,
True.
the last episode itself, we said that we'll dedicate a bit of what we speak to
Hey,
Rohit
but
Sharma.
we shouldn't make light of this. Overspeeding is not right.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Rohit's
approach, at this age, at 38, 36 or 38.
Whoa.
38. Come on, Akshay.
36.
Akshay keeps reducing his age, and for anybody else, they just keep growing older.
At 36, he could have easily told the team that, okay, I would want to bat in a particular way and everyone around me should bat in a different way.
Yeah.
A young Shubman Gill could have told, okay, you take the initiative, I will sit back.
Hey, Akshay, you're being too politically correct.
No, but he could have
slam
said that.
Bangladesh for what they've done,
No, he could have said that, but the way he has reinvented himself
Listen,
when it comes to that
we have a lot
approach.
of Bangladesh listeners, and they are a passionate bunch. So let's just egg them on a little here. Let's just get some comments flowing. Let's just get the blood flowing as well, right? Saurabh, Akshay, I don't know what's going on with you today. You've been very politically correct over the last 2 episodes.
Why I'm saying is that
You're all charged before the
you know
podcast.
why I'm saying is that there are selfless cricketers in the Indian cricket team. We should not only talk about
What are you talking
happened on
about,
the field
Akshay?
yesterday.
What
All
are you
right,
talking
all right,
about?
all right.
Let me
No.
put it,
First, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Raj, like always, please give some context.
Yeah. See, you move on to stuff without context. So, Saurabh, Akshay, what's the context? India versus Bangladesh in Pune at the MCA Stadium. What a stadium that is, by the way. I've not had the privilege of visiting the MCA Stadium, but I know for all accounts it's a fantastic ground. It's a great place to be in. But here's the context that Akshay has been raving around so passionately. India took on Bangladesh. Bangladesh batted. Didn't get too many on the board. It looked like it could be enough because over the last year or so, Bangladesh have troubled India while they were defending. More recently at the Asia Cup, but again, it wasn't a full-strength team. There was no Bumrah. There was no Virat Kohli. Shubman Gill, of course, scored that fine 100. It was India were anyway going to canter to victory. The way Rohit Sharma started again. I mean, I was just looking at the TV screen and like, gosh, this guy is never tired. And this is what we've discussed on the Sledging Room several times before as well, right? When he gets going, he's unstoppable. And that's exactly what happened in Pune. Picked up pace quickly. And then came that Virat Kohli masterclass. Again, against a mediocre Bangladesh bowling attack, admittedly. Shakib Al Hasan, you take him out of the equation and it's a huge hole to plug in the batting department as well as in the spin department. And
256 was
and
never going to
then
be
he
enough.
finishes the match off with a 6, gets to his 4800, gets to his third World Cup 100, gets to his first in the 2023 World Cup, gets to his fourth 100 this year. What a fine run he's had. And apparently there have been some criticism. There has been criticism from the likes of Akshay and several other people on social media. Saurabh, your take on it and why?
See, I don't understand this criticism. Why are you criticizing Virat Kohli? He is the one who took you down the line, helped you win the game.
Yeah.
And do you know, last time when Virat Kohli scored 100 against Bangladesh, we won the World Cup.
Okay.
He's doing all these things for the team.
Oh.
You need to understand
That way.
this. Yes. And Virat Kohli scoring 100. The crowd
But
demanded.
the last time Virat Kohli scored an ODI World Cup 100, we didn't make it to the final also, no?
No, but last time when Virat Kohli last scored an ODI World Cup 100, that
Against
World Cup
Bangladesh.
did not happen did not happen in the Indian subcontinent.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you're talking about Virat Kohli, I mean the
But that
fans.
100 also did not come in India. That 100 came in Bangladesh.
Yeah, it came against Bangladesh. I'm talking about against Bangladesh.
In Bangladesh. That was 2011 was in
So
Bangladesh.
this World Cup is not happening in Bangladesh. This World Cup is happening in India. So it had to come in India. And when you're talking about Virat Kohli scoring that 100, the way he is that chase, obviously Bangladesh were a very poor bowling attack if you don't have Shakib Al Hasan. But you look at it, Shreyas Iyer threw away his wicket. Shubman Gill after a good start threw away his wicket. Rohit Sharma threw away his wicket. Somebody had to stay there. And KL Rahul was the one who went and told Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli was selfless. He said, it won't look nice. No, I don't take singles just for my century. KL Rahul came out and said, no, it's your innings. You have done it. So you should score that 100. Fans wanted it. Everyone wanted it.
Yeah.
I don't know why are you people making a fuss out of it. It's
Why are you making a
unnecessary.
fuss out of it?
See, although you are treating this World Cup like a bilateral series, thrashing every opposition, this is not a bilateral series. It's a World Cup, and there is net run rate at play. India have won 4 matches in 4 out of 4. They are number 2 on the points table. New Zealand, but keep in mind, yesterday our net run rate dipped after that. Virat played 8 dot balls in the last three overs. He got his last 30 runs in 20 balls. I agree. He got to 103. But why will you deny singles? And it looked very apparent that you're going for a milestone.
But
Raj, let me just, I have done some homework. Let me
For a change.
For a change.
Yeah. In 2022, when Virat was going through a lean patch, not getting those 3-figure scores as consistently as he is now, these are his words. As long as your focus is on the right things, I am not too worried about milestones. I have never been bothered about that. These conversations always happen on the outside and they will continue to do so because we somehow are crazy about milestones and materialistic achievements. I certainly don't like that.
Okay. But we need to put out context for that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Convincing Indian victory,
Yeah.
4 out of 4. with 14 overs left, India needed how many? 48 runs. At that point, Virat needed 32. He was going at a strike rate of less than 100, 68 of 72 balls at the end of the 36th over. KL Rahul was on 18 of 26 balls. That lot of 48 came off 5.1 overs. So from there on, not only did India improve their run rate in the innings, Virat Kohli also improved his strike rate. There are several arguments. Like KL Rahul said, look, Virat told me it won't look nice if we keep denying singles. People will think I'm playing for the milestone. And KLR is like, yeah, go for it. We are anyway winning comfortably. Two sides of the story. I mean, that whole controversy around Richard Kettlebro's decision to not call it a wide from Nasoom, I think it was angled down the leg side, and Virat Kohli was so frustrated, exasperated, he almost shook his head. Remember what happened in Sri Lanka?
Yes.
Sehwag was denied 100 by this bowler who decided to was Suraj Nandeep. I think he slipped it down leg side and Sehwag was stranded on 99. I remember speaking to someone, and I've always promised that guy I won't take his name ever. But I do remember speaking to someone very close who knew of developments in the team, and he said, look, it was planned.
So you were talking about someone from the Sri Lankan team?
Yes. Okay. And they said, look, it was planned. And a couple of senior guys were involved in the planning and said, look, let's deny it. It looked like it could have been intentional. We don't know whether that white ball from Nasoom on Thursday evening, was it intentional? And Richard Kettlebrough said, you know what, you're not going to fall for that. The other side of the criticism is, no, he should have called what he saw. But he said, you know what, no. And sport is all about showmanship as well. And if India have won it, anyway, it's all right. Because next up are New Zealand. Now you're going to argue that, look, one of them is going to obviously have to, one for the winning streak for one of them will come to an end on Sunday. In Dharamshala.
Yes.
So that makes it more interesting. And I hope the winning streak for New Zealand comes to an end. Obviously, as an Indian fan, I'd want India to keep on winning and just secure a place in the semis as quickly as possible. But that is what it is. And it's okay. Like I think Saurabh said in the morning, and it's crowds. Indian crowds have come to watch these innings. Yes, I would though agree that sometimes, it at least, it seems from the outside that a lot of Indian batsmen play for milestones. I would agree with that argument. Yeah. But I'm not accusing anyone, but yes, that argument is pertinent. But
one beef is, when you're in poor form, when you're not getting those big scores, then don't come out and say that I don't care about milestones. When you've clearly gone for it.
Akshay, again, what is so wrong in thinking about yourself? If Virat had tried to go for 100 against Australia and he had slowed things down, and then that criticism I think would have been fair, because you did all the hard work, you did the basic spade work, and then you're slowing the innings down just to get to a milestone. That would have been that would have hurt a little. Yeah. But he didn't do that. I think he still tried to go for his shots. It was a difficult pitch to bat on. He got out at 85. He could have gotten to 100. Yes. And against Pakistan, again, he didn't score too many runs. He scored runs against Afghanistan. So that's all right, I guess. I mean, look, he held his own end of the bargain. And look, at the end of the day, everybody wants to play for milestones as well. It just adds to your kitty. Yeah. It's okay. It's a team sport. But wouldn't you see some of the best strikers in football? I remember Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, used to be criticized left, right and center. And people would draw parallels with Cafu. But Cafu and Ronaldo had different roles on the field, on the pitch. There was Rivaldo, who was seen as probably a rival to Ronaldo on the pitch, but they were obviously very, very close to each other. We don't know what the inside story is. I've never been to a Brazilian football dressing room. I remember from the times that I would read these articles on sports magazines. So that's okay. Like they said, strikers in football are supposed to be a little selfish. They want to make their own play and score goals. They're not, going to make balls for you all the time. And as a star batsman, I suppose sometimes you got to be a little... I don't think he was selfish. Somebody said, look, but it's you reducing that a World Cup game to a village game of cricket. But I think the bigger picture is how India literally toyed with the Bangladesh bowling attack. Yeah. It is not India's fault. It is the opposition that's come up unprepared.
86 against Pakistan, going for a big shot and getting an inside edge and getting caught at short mid-wicket. That was Rohit Sharma's knock against Pakistan in Ahmedabad.
I get it. But he's
fans in Ahmedabad would have also come to watch a Rohit Sharma 100, wouldn't they have? No, but yeah.
But again, he's taken a different role, right? He's taken a different role.
Yeah.
So Akshay always comes up with this unnecessary criticism. So when Virat Kohli is not performing, you are like, no, why are you criticizing Virat Kohli? You should talk about the game. And now when he is performing, you have a problem with him scoring 100. I don't understand this logic.
Seriously, I mean, let's not make it so much about why Virat Kohli got to 100. He deserved it. I mean, I was very happy.
Like Saurabh pointed out, Shreyas Iyer had an opportunity to get a big score. He threw it away.
And you pointed out Rohit Sharma. I think the Rohit Sharma angle is very different. He has decided over the last 2 years to play like that, right? So I think that's where they differ. And Virat Kohli is anyway playing the anchor's role right now. So that's all right. But quickly, because we are out of time, and the second podcast of the week is always shorter because we're going to also prime into the New Zealand game. It is what it is. I think India have been superb. And, that criticism of the net run rate. By the way, the net run rate is not just determined by how quickly you're chasing. Obviously, that plays a factor.
And the extra runs also. At
the extra runs and while you're bowling. I mean, that was a spectacular bowling effort. Then you're not going to pick up criticism and say, oh, look, but India should have rolled them out for 213, 49.5 overs and that would have... Come on, it's okay. Don't get too involved with it because net run rate pay, you can obsess when you are winning a few, losing a few. When you're on the rampage and you're just like 2 wins away from more or less officially securing a semi-final berth. Let's not get too much into that. Let's not criticize for the heck of it. I mean, I know I have asked some serious questions of some of our star cricketers.
Definitely. This has been blown out of proportion. I agree.
By people like you.
But you know what, Raj? Sometimes the other side of the border, maybe these things they don't have to worry about. Someone getting 100, someone restricting other teams. 24 runs in an over.
Haris Rauf.
Third most expensive spell by a Pakistan bowler in a World Cup.
But we also discussed that Pakistan is just highly overrated. They were just taken. They took their number 1 ranking too seriously. Yeah,
talking about vice captains being dropped. India's vice captain Hardik Pandya is not going to be available for that India versus New Zealand match in Dharamsala.
Pakistan have dropped their vice captain after the horror show. But again, quickly before India versus New Zealand, right? Simple for me. Ishan Kishan comes in, Shardul goes out, Shami comes in. Because Hardik Pandya is that kind of a cricketer. You need 2 specialist guys to come in and replace him. And Shardul, what has he done? He's not bowled too much in the lead up to the Bangladesh game. He only ended up bowling 9 overs because Hardik was injured and had to walk off.
Absolutely.
So I think you need Shami and you need a specialist batsman.
Yes, I have not understood this. Why has Shami not played a single game?
Yes.
I understand you played Ashwin in the first game, then you dropped him because the pitches were not that accommodating where you have to play 3 spinners. But right now, when Shardul is underperforming, he's leaking runs, he's getting wickets only when the batsmen are going after him. And that also after 7-8 overs, you need to have a bowler who can pick wickets with the old and new ball both.
Like I think Sunil Gavaskar on India Today mentioned that the game against Bangladesh was a perfect time for Shami to come in and get a feel of the World Cup. If you know that you need an extra pace option for the Dharamsala game, so you must have played him. I think India missed a trick there. If you have to nitpick, like how we said, India missed a trick there by not playing Shami. I don't know.
I think maybe they're reserving him for the best so far. Their most fierce competitors so far. New Zealand. Dharamshala, by the way, it rained a little.
No, Ashwin in Dharamsala, no.
I don't think so. I mean, but the pitch was a little up and down. Not that spinners didn't play a role.
The left-handers.
Look at what Vandermove did. But you also got to look at Shami's potential. And Shami, him not playing in the World Cup so far is just a little baffling. And also remember, Saurabh, 4 matches, he came towards the end, picked 14 wickets.
Absolutely. And when you're talking about Ashwin, look, when you don't have a Hardik Pandya, you need an out-and-out pacer who can replace him. Shardul Thakur is not going to play that role. You saw what happened in this Bangladesh game. If not for Shardul Thakur, Virat Kohli would not have scored that century. He would not have conceded those runs. So you need.
When you're talking about that out-and-out pacer and that extra pace option, 3 deliveries, the crowd roared. Virat Kohli.
It was a sight. But whenever now that Virat was bowling after so many years, I remember Bhuvneshwar Kumar's quote. He said, every time Virat bowls in the nets, we are worried about him picking an injury. I mean, that is not what you want. So hopefully he wouldn't have to bowl.
I mean, in the
hopefully Virat Kohli wouldn't have to bowl
again. In India, you don't want Virat Kohli to get injured.
But I think this is just about a couple of matches for Shami. I think Shami, it's, a game is around the corner. But again, we're out of time because it's a Friday evening. We are obviously not prepping for a long weekend or anything such. But we are gearing up for an exciting weekend. Afghanistan, the Netherlands is taking on Sri Lanka, and then Australia,
England taking on
England. That's on Saturday, but Australia meanwhile playing Pakistan in Bangalore, and then England taking on South Africa, because that is going to make it really competitive. And if Australia win on Friday, we'll come back to you more come back to you with a lot more of that on Wednesday. This points table by then would have started to look very, very interesting. And hopefully for all us Indian fans, India can keep their winning momentum going against New Zealand. New Zealand have been superb. They are without Kane Williamson, obviously, for October. He came back from an injury, got injured again against Bangladesh, incidentally. And India have just come off a walloping win against the Bangla Tigers. India versus New Zealand. A replay then of the 2019 World Cup semi-final.
MS Dhoni's last game.
MS Dhoni's last game. Hopefully then this will be a match where Indian fans will smile and gloat over that victory, because India, like I said, are really, really in good form. That's that for today, because a lot of it was occupied by Akshay trying to slam Virat Kohli for, sweet nothings.
It was definitely blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
But
by people like you, like I said.
Yeah. Against New Zealand, a wicketkeeper finishing it this time would be, an Indian wicketkeeper finishing it this time would be a fitting end to what happened, revenge to what happened.
It falls on KLR then. Or maybe Ishan Kishan if he plays.
You never know.
Yeah.
He obviously won't keep wickets, KLR will. But India is in great form and they have all their boxes ticked so far. The only worrying factor for me is Shreyas Iyer, even though he got a half century against Pakistan, he got some runs against Afghanistan. I think those two missed opportunities against Australia got out for a duck.
It will be very interesting to see.
Yeah,
Rohit Sharma has like we discussed he has changed his approach.
Yeah.
Whether he can conquer that Trent Bolt hurdle, if he can do that, then it's
going to face a genuinely good
fast bowler. We should worry about Matt Henry also.
Yes.
Lockie Ferguson, that guy.
Too much.
It's a very, very good pace attack. Apart from India, you have a really good threatening bowling attack, which is really well balanced.
Proper sleepless night for all of us on Saturday, expecting the big match. Probably the first big match for India in the tournament.
The first big match of the tournament. But it's going to be really exciting. Like I said, it's getting exciting. Australia taking on Pakistan. Heavy Saturday doubleheader then. The Netherlands taking on Sri Lanka and England taking on South Africa. That will be a real cracker. I'm looking forward to that one as well. But do join us back on the Sledging Room. You can leave your comments on the YouTube videos that you watch every week. And of course, you can rate us on Spotify, Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts or wherever you're consuming the Sledging Room on. Thank you. Have a cracking weekend. And we'll see you on Wednesday.